Hi, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Waze Community Office Hours. I'm Brett, your host, and today we are discussing, you know what? This never happens to me. I completely forgot what our topic is today. If only there was like some sign from above that could remind me about where I am and what I'm doing. And oh, that's it, Roadshields. Well, today we have a very exciting program for you. We're going to be discussing the Roadshields rollout, which is now on beta on both platforms. But first, I've got a couple of announcements for you. This month and next, we have several local meetups coming up. Our first is on June 20th, where we're having a Poland local meetup, followed by July 4th. There's going to be a meetup for LATAM for Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay. And then on July 11th, we have our UK and Ireland mini regional meetup. So with that, with no further ado, I'd love to turn it over to Ruben, who's going to tell us all about our Roadshields rollout and what's coming up in the very near future and already today. Ruben, take it away.
Hi, everyone. So it's a great pleasure to be here. And as Brett says, thank you, Brett. We're going to talk about Roadshield, both in WME and in the app. So first, of course, we're really happy to be here. I'm here. The first one, I'm Ruben from the beta team and the communities team. We have together with me today, Michal and Eitan. Both of them are part of the Midrive squad and are the developers that developed the actual Roadshield both on iOS and Android. And they will be speaking about the feature in the client after me. So we're really happy and looking forward to your question. So what we're going to talk about today. First, I'm going to talk with you about the Waze map editor and Roadshield in it that today is now rolled out to production. Second, Michal and Eitan will speak about the Roadshield in the app. And then, as I said before, we're going to have a Q&A and we'll be ready to hear all your questions and hopefully also answer them. So Roadshield in WME. As you know, Roadshield are now available in production in all environments. The feature is composed of two main pillars. First, the Roadshield on street, as you can see from the left, where you will be able to select a segment that is part of a street, add a shield to it, a shield text in it. For example, in this case, you will see the interstate for the US, where you can put the 95 inside and add a direction where it's needed. The second part, it's the Roadshield on turn guidance, as you can see on the right. And here it's really the core part of the feature, where you can actually override the text instruction, the TTS instruction. You can add an exit sign on a turn guidance. You can add a shield, actually multiple shields, direction, text in a towards direction, and you can really have full flexibility and control over the instruction that the driver will receive in the client. As you remember, the Roadshield on street was a really old feature. We used a really old mechanism that was automatic and was adding shields based on the street name through regex. This was a really error-prone solution. It was not really good. And of course, we asked you to rename all the streets. And finally, thanks to this feature, we're giving back control to the editors. You can see the shields actually in WME. You can remove them, you can edit them, you can fix them. So that's amazing to see that finally we are able to give back the feature to the users. And of course, as I said before, the turn guidance look like a feature, but it's 2 or 3 features together, since we have the TTS override and the instruction override that were really long time feature requests from the community. So having said that, we really want to thank you all, the communities, the WME beta communities, for providing the feedback over really long time. And really thanks to the feedback that you share, we were able to improve the feature before releasing to production. So we want to really thank you for taking the time and sharing all your thoughts on the feature. So why the feature is important? As I said before, this gives back control to the editor, since so you can see Roadshield on street in WME, and we are replacing a really old system that was not perfect at all. Second, we're giving flexibility to the user. Now you can edit the turn guidance, so you are really in control of the instruction that the driver will receive on a specific exit from a highway, on a ramp, on a turn. And we really hope this will help the driver get the best driving instruction possible. Third, as I said before, the TTS is another amazing component of this feature. Since now you can override the default TTS that the driver received by default from Waze. And this add another layer of flexibility and give full control to the editor while editing the map. Having said that, we are now in production, not for a long time, but we already see that you are starting mapping the turn guidance. We didn't show the mapping of the Roadshields on streets. We had a lot of coverage already based on the coming from the old system. So what is really interesting is the turn guidance, that it's kind of the new part of the feature. So as you can see, we can see a lot of European countries that start mapping turn guidance. Of course, the US has the highest number with over 11,000 turn guidance mapped. Of course, we also have Australia there on the map and some countries from LATAM and Canada, of course. And if we remove the US from the top countries, those are the 10 top countries that already map turn guidance. So we see a lot of active community. So please keep doing it. That's really like an amazing chance to review the old mapping, to add new mapping, and really clean them up of old X and use the new future turn guidance to give precise and detailed turn guidance to the drivers. So what's next? First of all, as you know, every shield needs to be designed and created from scratch for all the new one that we have. So we are currently working on designing all the new shields that we are not yet available in WME, and those will be added over time in batches. Second, a really long-awaited request already from the beta, it's to support a shield in the tower fields. So as you can see from the screenshot, we have it already ready, not yet, of course, rolled out, but hopefully you will see this in beta in the upcoming versions. And the most voted request, even from user voice, is the capability to add shields on alternate names, since this will give you more flexibility and add the possibility to reflect reality. So having a street, for example, a highway that crosses a city center, you will be able to have a street name on a primary name and an alternate name that's the highway name, and then add the Roadshield to the alternate name. So you still have something to looking forward to, and that's really interesting. So I'm also looking forward to the upcoming addition to the future. So for those of you that didn't see the announcement to production, you can scan the QR code and find all the info about the rollouts. You can find the how-tos on how to map Roadshields there. And of course, if you have any feedback, please share it with us in the forum. So up next, it's going to be Michal and Eitan that will talk about with us Roadshields in the app. So I'm going to pass the mic to Eitan.
Hey everyone, I'm really glad to join today and give you an inside look at our journey developing Roadshields. As Ruben said, my name is Eitan and I've been on Waze for about 4 years now and focus more on the iOS side. And also here with us now is Michal, who is focused on the Android side. And just like Ruben said in the beginning, our squad is the mid-drive squad. And our goal is to give you the smoothest driving experience. So with this project, with Roadshields, we had two main goals. The first was to reduce friction by matching exactly what you see when you're driving on the road. And the second is to reduce distraction while you're driving, because the visual cues are always easier to just glance at compared to reading a long text. Next slide. So like any project, we started out with a very simple prototype to test out what's possible and to see if we had any limitations. So this was our first proof of concept, actually. And the goal of this was to just test out if we could insert images in line with text and see what's the best way of doing it. So as you can see, it starts out really simple. Next slide. And then the next step we took was to actually borrow the existing shields that we already had that were already on the map and insert them essentially into the turn instructions. We use a very simple heuristic to automatically replace the right part of the instruction so that the shield shows up in the correct place. And so in this phase, we actually overlaid the text for the shield onto the image entirely in the app. And as you can see in the little green rectangle, the text size and the positioning isn't always perfect, and especially when it comes to shields of different shapes or sizes or shields that might need to stretch for a longer text. Next slide. And these are some of our screenshots as we were developing. And as you can see, there's still quite a lot of bugs. And there's many different layouts that need to be handled in the instruction bar as well as the turn list. For example, here you can see in a few cases where we have exits and the distance is either truncated or overlapping. So there's quite a lot of work to do here. Next slide. And just to give you an idea, these are only some of the variations that we have in the instruction bar itself. So you can have lane guidance, you can have shields, no shields, you can have exits. We also support shields already in the and then instruction or the next instruction, as well as the towards line, which is the second line. And all of this also works in compact mode and handled as well in landscape. So I didn't actually count, but there's quite a lot of different cases, and because of this on iOS, we actually needed to fully rewrite the entire view here to be able to support all of this. And one other thing that we had to change was in order to support a second line, as you see kind of in the center examples, we dynamically increase the height of the navigation bar now up to another additional 20%. So all these changes combined really required quite a lot of work. Next slide. And here I'll hand it over to Michal to show you a little bit more about how we are converting the instruction into a Roadshield. Michal?
Hey, thanks, Eitan. So here we have examples of turn instructions before and after we added shields. And you can see in the bottom example that, like Eitan said, the navigation bar's height was increased, and now we have the towards line. Next slide. And some more examples of before and after road shields. So there's an example of a landscape mode and the turn-by-turn list, and the next turn. Next slide. For this feature, we had to write a new rendering service to add text to our shield images. What we had in the past was we had very limited number of shield images and that we added text to in the app itself. And while discussing this feature, we decided that it would be better to create a rendering service that will serve both WME and the client. And then we'll get much better looking shields and one implementation for all our platforms. Next slide. In addition to the new shields in the turn instructions, we also have new shields on the map. And So the new shields will just look a lot better, look much closer to how they do in reality. And there are also new shield types that you added in WME, and you can keep adding. Next slide. TTS, Ruben mentioned this. You can edit the voice instruction in the turns. But if you don't explicitly edit it, Waze will keep using the existing street name. So adding road shields and exit signs won't affect the voice instructions, so you can just add them freely. Next slide. Okay, so when we want to display a shield in the app, we download it from the rendering service. And here we had a little problem because we don't want to have to re-download the same shield every time we want to display it, but we want to be able to update it because sometimes there are errors or just changes in the images. So what we did was adding 2 configs that help us control the expirations of the shields. So by default, every shield will be re-downloaded after 30 days from the previous time it was downloaded. And also, if we made some change in the shields, we can set an expiration date to make sure that you get all the new and updated shields. Next slide. And Rollout. So the Roadshields is available in Android beta since the previous release, and it's also available in iOS from like right now, the recent beta release. And next slide. Okay, so thank you, and I think it's Q&A time.
Indeed it is. Thank you so much, Michal and Eitan. Let's get rid of this deck, and we will bring our first question up on the board. I'm, by the way, really excited. You guys, we've already received over like 25 questions at this point. You can also, just to remind you, vote on the questions for the ones that you think are the best. And if we end up running out of time this evening, feel free to email your community manager and we will get back to you from our guests or from other people on the Roadshields team to answer all of your questions. So let's throw our first question up on the board from Daniel. Is there a way to remove our auto RS population? We have numerous roads with codes, but not necessarily the entire road. Our current method is to add the road code as a prefix in the segment name.
Okay, so I think I will take this one. So we don't add any more Roadshield automatically. This used to be the old system that we had in WME. Since we released to beta maybe a bit later, we stopped the script that was adding automatically shields on streets. So you might see some errors that were added automatically, but now you are able to fix them in the WME. In the second part, so I think we need to look at the examples, but now you should be able to have full flexibility. So no matter what is the street name, you can attach to it a road shield and add a specific text in it. But in case you want us to look at specific permalinks or streets in WME, we can take a look.
Great. Next question from David. When will shields start showing up in Waze for Android Auto?
Eitan, do you want to take this?
Sure. Unless, Michal, you want to?
Yeah, I can take it. So the shields on map, it's a different code, and it should show on Android Auto now, right, Ruben? Yeah. And shields on turn for Android Auto is one of our next goals, but it will take a little longer.
Thank you.
All right. Next question, please. From Sebastian. What feedback did you get regarding size of the Roadshields in-app? To name one example, German exit signs are displayed rather small. Are there any further adjustments planned?
So I will take the first part of the question. I think the second part is related to the size of the mobile shield. First, when I referred to the feedback, I was referring to WME feedback because I was speaking about WME. But of course, we are also monitoring the feedback from Center Code. And of course, as you know, it was just released over the weekend for iOS. And we already saw that multiple users from iOS are saying that the shields and exit sign are quite small, so we did not process the feedback from iOS. But I don't know if Eitan or Michal want to add anything about the sizes. Feel free.
Nothing too differently, just that as far as the mobile app, the size is always something that we can adjust and change based on feedback, but the goal is to find the right size that kind of works for everyone and is the most visible.
Thank you. And I think just to add the last comment is of course to give you an idea, we have a lot of countries with really different type of designs and squares and circle. And for example, in Canada, we have actual design inside the shield. So I guess it's not trivial to find a specific size that makes readable for all the shields in all the countries.
Yeah.
So I guess it's not an estimation.
I'll add one more thing. There's another consideration with what I mentioned before about the height of the navigation bar. One of the special considerations that we had was to make sure that there's still enough space for the map. So we don't want to expand the navigation bar too much. And when we restrict that size, it also restricts the maximum size of the road shields. So that's one other thing that kind of comes into play when considering the size.
Thank you.
Next question from Mark. Are you planning to increase the text size of the digits inside the road shields? Currently, the space is not being utilized and there is too much padding. In real road shields, numbers take up the entire space, even if they are very close to the edge of the sign, because legibility is everything.
I guess this is a question for you, Eitan or Michal.
Sure. So we can definitely change it, and like Ruben mentioned, it's all the shields are different for every state and also country. So it might be something that we have to look at more on a case-by-case basis. So maybe that's something to reach out to the community managers about and kind of gather feedback. But it is something that we can change, and yeah, definitely want to make it visible as much as possible.
Sure. And just saying no worries, also all this feedback will be shared with the squad and of course with the UX designer, that hopefully if we see any possibility to improve the readability of the shields and the text, it will get the feedback. And of course, if possible, I guess we'll make sure that it's bigger.
Definitely. Thank you. Next up, we have from Gerard. The road shield and the visual instructions on turn guidance is hard copied from the roads in the vicinity. So anytime a road shield changes, we would need to rework every exit to force the new shield. Would it be possible to be able to choose if this needs to be a hard copy or an inheritance?
I think I can answer partly to this question. So I guess Gerard is speaking about the WME because as you know, the shields they will see in the turn guidance available are the one in the vicinity, or of course based on the map that you see at the specific junction. So you can of course zoom out and you will see more shields. We know that the shields that you see are actually reflect the current situation. So in case there is any change, we don't automatically change the turn instruction. This was a feedback that was raised also while rolling out in WME. But unfortunately, now there is not an easy solution for it. Also, not sure how often shields change. I guess that it is happening, but not sure how much often this is happen. So this specific moment, they are an hard copy. So the shield that you can see, you can select from the drop down, and it's going to stay there, even if you change the street name and the shield associated with it. So at this stage, that's the way it is.
Do you guys have anything to add, or should we move on to our next? All right, let's move on to our next question. From Anonymous. Can you explain why so few tokens are supported? Street names often consist of several words.
Sure, I think I will take this. So this is for the one that don't know the reference. Is of course like we had a specific mechanism that today, if there is a turn into a street that has a Roadshield map and a direction, we'll try to match the street name with the shield if it exists. So we tried few options to make sure that also in this case, since this is a heuristic, meaning an automatic mechanism that switch the text to a shield to make sure that it will cover most of the cases. So you have to edit only the really specific terms. And of course, it will be suitable for all different countries and different type of naming in the countries. So I think I have a good news for the one that asked, because we have just changed the number of token. We're gonna replace shields even if they are more than 3 tokens, unless they are complex names, meaning they have a slash in between. So if you have shield name space street name, street name, street name, street name, we will do our best to put the shield image and then just attach to it the text. So this should solve a lot of cases that we have seen in Netherlands, in France, and a lot of European countries. So this rule has been already changed. It's not yet released. Hopefully it's going to be, I think, today in routing beta server. But I think next week you should already be the change in effect.
Awesome. Move on to our next. From Lori. Is there any consideration for choosing a new typeface for the numbers? The typeface in use doesn't resemble the real world with, for example, the number 4 with an open top. Why not go for Highway Gothic typeface, which is used around the world for numbers on signs, even in Israel, close enough anyway?
I think this is more for Eitan or Michal, and actually I think it's probably for a UX designer. But just for what I know, I can share. Of course, we can get more details, but what I know, it's not that easy as you think, because we have specific fonts that we can use in the app for iOS and Android, and of course they are copyrighted, so we cannot, I guess, mix more than font based on the feature. So that's also something we need to take in consideration. Of course, we'll pass it on the feedback to our designer, but we're kind of limited on the fonts that we can use. I don't know if Eitan or Michal wants to add something.
No, I think it's great feedback for our designers. There is definitely a limit, but also as far as consistency, even if it is used for most countries, it may not be used for all countries. So we want it to look consistent no matter what, and also to fit in with the typeface that we use throughout the rest of the app. So I'm not a designer, even though I like to think I have a good sense of design, but I have a feeling that's part of the reason for the decision of the font that we went with. But it's great feedback, and I'm sure they'll consider it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Eitan. And for the record, we think you have a good eye too. Let's move to our next one. Philip. Hi, is it possible to display road shields without announcements?
So I'm not sure if the question is fully clear. I'm not sure if by announcement is referring to the TTS, but I will try to answer that. You can, of course, map in WME Roadshield both to a street and in the turn guidance. You don't have to explicitly touch the TTS. And of course, if you want to apply another question, then maybe some clarification or example, I think would be great.
So Philip, if you're still with us, feel free to write in the chat to clarify. Otherwise, if you guys don't have anything to add, we're going to move on to our next question. Anonymous question. Will it be possible to show different road shields on segments with the same name but different road type?
So actually, as you know, we attach road shield to a street. So each street is a different item. So only one shield can be attached to a street name, to a street. Actually, it's a couple. It needs to be a street name and city. So if it's another city, it's another item. But at the moment, you can only add one road shield per street. The thing that I mentioned that we're currently working on adding road shields on alternate name, meaning if in WME you will have a segment that has a primary name and an alternate name, you will be able to add a shield both on the primary and alternate or one of the two. This should solve some of the use cases, but at the moment we cannot add two shields per one street. And there is no connection like about road type, since if the street name is the same one, shouldn't be any difference based on the road type.
Makes sense. Next up from Tom. If several road shields are applied on a segment via alternate street names, which shield will get displayed on the app? Only the first encountered or all of them?
First of all, we need to be available in WME. It's not yet available. Once we'll be available, we also need to have it available in the client. Regarding turn instruction, then Ethan can correct me if I'm wrong. Now, today, we're only looking at the primary street. We're not taking into consideration the alternate. And once we'll be able to map it, by default, it'll stay as it is today, since it's not developed yet, the capability to show multiple shields on the map. The idea is to show both, I think, based on the request from the community. As I said, for example, if there is a highway that runs through a city center, or you can also see Google Maps, but they generally show both of them. So you can understand like what's for example, if you have a European highway, of course you have the national highway numbering and the European highway numbering. So the idea is to show both. At the moment, there won't be any change in the near future, but Ethan can add more details for Michal.
I don't have anything else to add. Michal?
Yeah, no. When we start working on it, then we'll have some answers.
All right, so we'll update Tom and the community later on once we have some more answers on that. From Ronald, many countries, especially centrally located, have at the borders signs containing an oval with an ISO country code. Can this be added?
You mean to have a specifically like a shield that will be added and be shown in the app? If it, I don't know, we need to look into it. I guess like if you can send us details, we can look into it, and if we can double check if it's doable, since every shield, as I said before, it's really like designed from scratch and needs to be added. And also we need to understand if it's in the turn guidance, if it's a part of the exit sign. So it really depends from the specific cases. And of course, as they explained before, like we will have enough spaces to add more than one shield.
All right, so Ronald, if you're still listening, please send us an email. You can reach out to your community manager or directly to Ruben, and we'll be happy to get back to you on that for your future consideration. Next up from Peter. Will the live map also support road shields in the future? I can see that it uses our edited shield text, but not the correct shield.
To be 100% sure, we can check this. Generally, the live map should reflect the data that you insert in WME. As you know, the live map doesn't show the actual design. We just show a small label with the shield with the street number. So at the moment, there is no plan to support the new SVGs and the new images. but the street name and the street numbers should be reflected there. So also here, like, we can double check if there's a specific example, we can look into it.
All right. Anonymous question. If street signs are added to the alternative name, will there be 2 street signs per street on the map?
I think that's similar to the previous questions. At the moment, nothing was developed yet in the client, and actually not in WME. We're working on it. So once it will be available, we will support it, meaning the data will be there. And of course, we'll decide what will be shown and how it will be shown in different cases. So it's similar to the answer that we gave above before to Tom.
Thank you very much. Another anonymous question. Will all community requested shields be added before public rollout? In the US, we have many missing shields and it leaves many turn instructions unable to be completed off of freeway exits. Would hate to see another feature rolled out only partially when it reaches the public.
So indeed, we are really planning to design all the shields that were requested from the community coordinators. Of course, US and Canada are a bit different from their countries because they have a really long list of shields. So as today in US, we have all the shields available that were set priority 1 to 3. We have a lot of other shields missing. There are priority 4 and 5. And indeed, the answer is yes. All the shields that were requested from the community coordinators will be designed and added in WME. We don't have yet a specific ETA, but the timeline should be that we're currently finalizing the shields in row, meaning there are countries that actually don't have any shields to be added compared to the US. They already have a lot of them, and only the lower priority. And then we'll move on, complete the shields missing in US and Canada. And I'm not sure 100% is going to be before the app's going to be rolled out to production, but we're already working on it, and I hope that will be there as soon as we can, so you can map it, and of course, they will be visible in the app.
Any input, Eitan or Michal? Nope. All right.
We covered it.
From ABC 1357, the font used for the second row is very hard to see when you are using your phone mounted on the dash. Please increase the visibility. Thanks. Noted.
Yeah, I think this is also a really specific question for our designer. We know we actually have a discussion ongoing about it, the bold, non-bold in the driving instructions. Nothing is yet finalized. As you know, the feature is still in beta, and of course, we'll gather all the feedback and share back to the team and to the UX designer. I'm not sure if Aidan or Michal wants to add something, but we are aware of some of the feedback about it.
We're good?
I think it's great feedback, actually. One thing that was considered while we were designing the feature is to use a different font weight to show the, kind of the hierarchy between the first and second row. But definitely if it's not very visible, then it's something we should look at changing.
Definitely. Next up from Jazzman. When can we see Singapore being enabled for both road shields and exits? We have added to the road shield spreadsheet, and it's been leveraging shields design that have been designed. Thanks, Soundwaves.
Okay, so I think
they're cute, right?
Yeah, for sure they're cute. I think in Singapore we do have some shields already available for mapping. Of course, we are missing some, and those are actually the one that will be designed before the rest of the US shields, since the rest of the world and European countries will take the priority as for now, because we have some countries with no shields. So they should be available in the near future. We don't know yet when, but we are really working on it and designing the new shields, and once they will be ready, they will be added and they will be visible in WME.
Definitely. And as the APAC coordinator, I can tell you, I have already shared the preview image with your local community coordinators. So please be in touch with them for the local Singapore community, because they should be able to tell you everything that's coming down the pipe because we've been communicating all this with them as it's been rolling out. Another anonymous comment, any chance of a potential second towards line? I know space is limited, but editors in several countries are finding many signs that have a third line and want to match reality. It doesn't seem 4 lines happens often though.
I can comment, or if Eitan also wants to add something. Yeah, basically, we don't know yet. Like we're really looking into it, and as Eitan says, really the mission here is to making sure the instruction bar is clear and readable, and the sizes are correct. But at the same time, what is really an important part of the navigation app is the actual map. Since you want to see the route, you want to see the exit, you want to see actually where you are driving. So there is a lot of thought around it, like what should be the best size for the instruction bar, and how this look like. So I'm not sure if it's going to be possible to have a second line in the towards, meaning in total we'll have 4 lines. But also this feedback we can move it to our UX designer, and of course, like we'll make all what is possible to make sure that all the information is going to be visible and readable.
Anything else to add, Eitan, Michal? Nope.
Maybe, I mean, it depends on the specific case, but maybe something that's possible to do with what we have currently is to maybe bring up some of the instruction into the first line so that it does fit on 2 lines. But, really depends on specific examples.
Definitely. So another question from Ronald. When will the exit signs that I submitted early in the project be available? SLO at HR.
We can look at it. I don't know with the specific one, but if you're already sending us an email about a specific example, you can also ping us the specific exit that you want to see. I think like most of European and rest of the world, exit sign should be available. If something is missing, we can double check. Maybe we missed something, but still, if they were missed and not designed yet, those will come together with all the other sheets and exit signs that are missing. But of course, like please reach out to us, tell us specific which exits are missing, and we can of course double check to make sure if those need to be designed or maybe have been designed and they were just like fell between the cracks.
From Peter, will it be possible for the future to also set Roadshields in the direction towards field and not only in the visual instructions field?
In the direction towards,
in the towards field, in the direction field.
So in the direction field, it won't be possible because actually that's the direction of the actual shield. For example, south, north, west, east. That's what the field is made for. In the towards field, as shown in my presentation, we're currently working on it and it should be almost ready. Hopefully it's going to be available in the upcoming betas for WME, and you will be able to add a shield in the toward field the same way you add today a shield in the visual instruction.
Okay. So next up, hi. I'm getting the message. Roadshield must include assigned text no matter what I enter. Is it a bug or am I doing something wrong?
So every shield, every design has a specific configuration, meaning we have a minimum character that most of the times is 1 and a maximum character that is based on your request. So probably the shields that you're trying to add has a minimum character of 1. So it means that you need to input at least 1 digit inside it. So if the case is that this shield needs and in reality can be empty, so you can send us the specific shield that you're having issue with. We can review it and we can make sure that this will support also 0 digit. But the idea is that most of the shield needs to have text inside. We have a lot of cases where you don't have to, for example, in Canada, but needs to be defined up front. So whether it was not defined, or like if in reality you can add the shield with no street number at all, we need to change it and modify it, so you can reach out to us.
Alrighty. Another question from Ronald. Could you please sort the available road signs in selection pop-up for turn instruction alphanumeric? In complex situations, they are now completely mixed up.
We can double check if it's available to be in alphanumeric. We also got another feature request from the editors community about the capability to do an autocomplete. They were also looking if it's possible to add by digiting, I don't know, first two letters, you will get the shields. For example, we have a lot of countries, for example, I said US and Canada, that have multiple shields, so it's really long to scroll, or Brazil or Mexico, for example. But we'll also check if possible to be alphanumeric.
Alrighty. Another anonymous question. The look of newly generated road shields don't exactly match the old ones in the app. Can you make the old ones look like the new ones?
So we have a really good news for you. I don't know if you already checked, but as said also from Michal and Eitan in the presentation, since the later release, so make sure if you're not a beta tester, you will need to wait a bit. But if you're a beta tester from the latest release, the latest beta, you will be able to see the newly designed shields also on the map. So all the shields that have been added in WME from the community using the new SVGs, you should be able to see them in the map. In case you are not a beta tester, you all probably need to wait until the version is going to be to store. And once we'll get to production, we'll see also the new shield on the map.
Or if you're extra eager, take this as an opportunity to apply to join the beta community. It's never too late. They're still accepting applications all the time. All right, let's go to our next question. Is that it? Oh, no, we're still good. How many questions do we have left, by the way? 10? 10 or so? 10 at least? Okay. Looks like we're going to be using all the rest of our time, everybody. So, ooh, excuse me. Hi. How can I have the moods that is for WME? Because I was finding out how to get it, but there were no ways to get that. I felt that the moods for WME were awesome, so I would like to get it soon.
Yeah, I think being anonymous is a bit hard, but we can double check. You can send us your username, we can look at it and see why you're not able to see the WME moods. So please reach out to your community manager or post it. I don't know if you're a beta tester in Center Code, and we'll look at it.
And from Mark, can you get a shield expiration date after it's already been downloaded to a client? Also, is there a search code that will allow a client user to clear the shield image cache?
I guess this is Eitan and Michal.
I can take it. We can set an expiration date after a shield is downloaded. It's actually the expiration date will apply to all the shields that are downloaded, and that's really the use case to make all the shields that you downloaded expire and re-download it. So yes, and there is currently no code to clear the shield image cache, but maybe we can consider adding this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Eitan, want to add something?
No, Michal covered it.
All right, thanks, Michal. From Jose, shields expire after 30 days of downloading or last usage?
After 30 days of downloading.
Okay. Thank you for making that clear. From Nick, how will Waze be rolling out shields to production? Will it be an announced feature or an incremental rollout?
So currently the plan, of course, as you know, everything can change, but once it's in beta. Now we are both Android and iOS in beta. Of course, the plan is to make sure that there are no blockers or bugs that are critical to roll out. But the idea is that it's going to be an announced feature, meaning we're not planning to roll out gradually, but to open the feature to all the users if there are any major issues.
Alrighty, let's move on to our next question. I've just been informed we have 20 more, but we only have 10 minutes left, so I don't think we're going to get into all of them. And if we run out of time before, I'd just like to remind everyone, if we don't get your question or if you'd like more information or follow-up, please reach out to us. You can contact your staff community manager or your local coordinator, who will be happy to pass it up the chain to us. So next up from Alex, when will Roadshields be available in the WME for Ecuador?
So I said before, Ecuador, I think I can remember that it's one of the countries that were missing shields, so they need to be designed. So we don't have a specific ETA, but we are really working and pushing to make it available as soon as possible. So of course, you cannot edit Roadshields yet, but you can already override turn guidance and use the TTS if you feel that somewhere it's needed. But I really hope that the first batch should include for sure Ecuador, because it's one of the listed countries from the missing in the rest of the world. So hopefully really soon.
Thank you, Ruben. And next up from Douglas, when will shields populate via alt names?
So if the question is if they will be automatically populated, the answer is never, meaning we don't have a process that would automatically populate the alternate names. But you will have the ability to manually add them, meaning if a street name has also an alternate name, you will have the ability to click on the alternate name and add a specific roadshield that is relevant only for the alternate and not for the primary.
And from DG, is it possible to add road shields by road segment, not only by road name? This way we'd be able to add road shields to certain parts of the road and not to the whole road.
No, meaning the whole idea here is that you add the actual road shield to the street name, not to the segment. It was also feedback that was raised multiple times also in beta and like we also in the previous office hour. So we know that we have these cases where a street change name in the middle of the city or they have multiple shields, but at the moment the idea is this is not going to be available. And I said before, most of the cases, not of course 100% of it, but we'll be able to solve with the shields on the alternate name, but still the idea is to having the shields on the street and not to the segment.
All right, on to our next question from the creator, Ian. Is it in the plan to allow to move the DIVs in the turn guidance so you can move the shield text before or after another element? Oh, that's an interesting question.
So we have, if I understand correctly, in WME, in the visual instruction, you can add shield, you can add free text, and today's you cannot play with the different items, meaning you can drag and drop them to move them around, but you need to remove them and re-add them if you want to change the order. We have an open feature request to make them draggable, but it's currently blocked. Like we want to develop like the actual style guide for it, so we want to make it available for all different elements in WME and in Waze. So currently it's not possible. We hope that as soon as we have the element ready to add it also for the different divs in the visual instruction.
Thank you. Before I get to Florian, I just want to point out people are using a banned word in chat that Ruben and I have not said. So let's have a little respect here, people. We're keeping it cool. We're not using. You did say it?
Probably yes.
Oh, you're gonna get it tonight. Then I apologize on his behalf. Okay, so thank you guys.
It was on purpose.
So Florian asks us, are you planning to support multiple shields per segment? Shielded roads in Germany sometimes merge and split again.
So I said before in the other questions, we are gonna support multiple shields per street, but not per segment. So multiple segments can have the same street name, and a segment can have a primary name and an alternate name. So you will be able to add multiple shields, meaning one primary name and secondary name, alternate name, but you won't be able to attach a shield to a segment. So similar to the previous questions. That's it.
All right. So will the new road shields reflect official highway shield designs, including colors for each country? From Abigail.
I'm not sure I can say 100% will reflect the official iShield design. I must say that was part of the process of requesting the shields and working with the designer, and we really try to be as most how do you say, high fidelity as possible.
Yeah, like as accurate as we possibly can.
As accurate as possible we can.
Yeah.
Of course, most of the, for example, rest of the world shields, we use the same shields in different countries, for example, European highways or other local countries. So I don't know all the colors and official colors, so I cannot say 100% sure.
We have fielded some color change requests though to make it more in line.
Yeah,
like it's definitely feedback.
If it's something really specific that you feel that like there is a really big difference and the driver wouldn't recognize the shield from reality, of course we can try to make the change. But I must say that we really tried to make it as similar as possible to reality. That's what the actual vision and target.
All right, we're just going to take a couple more questions, maybe I think like 2 or 3 more. So from Kincasion, similar to Gerard's question, the road shield in the visual instructions on turn guidance is hard copied from the roads in the vicinity. This creates a problem when there is no street using the shield as the primary name. Can editors have the option to create a shield in the turn instructions UI?
To create a shield. I'm not sure what you mean by creating a shield, but if I understand correctly, this won't be possible. Meaning the turn instruction UI, it's only showing the data of available shields around it. So if there is an actual street with the shield attached to it, you are supposed to see it in the turn guidance in the turn instruction UI in WME. If there is not, you won't be able to create in the same panel the shield.
All right, I think this is going to be our last question.
Who's the lucky one?
From David. By shields showing up in WAA, I meant for the turn instructions. Those do not show up in Android Auto at this time.
Correct. That's what exactly Michal said before. So we are planning to add shields in CarPlay and Android Auto. Today you already can see the shields on the map, but not the one in turn instruction. We don't have a defined ETA for them when they will come to in-car platforms. But you're right. Currently, we don't show road shields in turn instruction in Android Auto.
All right. Well, with that, I would really like to thank our guests, Michal and Eitan, and of course, Ruben here with me in studio. I would like to thank all of you for joining. Please like and subscribe. Hila actually only lets me eat lunch based on how many likes and subscribes we come in. So if you want to keep me fed, they'll give me a little bit more bachelor chow for every like that comes in. So I would really appreciate it. And also, don't forget to take the survey. The links are both below in the description and also in chat right now. We just put the survey link. Let us know how we're doing, what topics you'd like to see come up next. And again, from everyone at Waze, we would like to thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next month for another exciting episode of Waze Community Office Hours.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.